Hey y'all, I am Catherine and welcome to my very first YouTube video ever. I am going to be sharing a lot more about elopements and what they are, how to do them, the best tips and tricks and ideas so that y'all have the most information to have the best wedding day that is truly about you, free from expectations that traditional big weddings always have with them. So let's dive in. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about what eloping is in general and how the term has changed over time. So the word elope is getting pretty popular. More and more people are choosing it as a way to celebrate their marriage instead of having a big traditional wedding. But the actual rundown of what an elopement day looks like now is different than what it used to look like. So there's a little bit of confusion on what that really means anymore. And honestly, the awesome thing about it is that it's whatever you want it to be. Elopements used to be something with a really bad reputation normally. You think about eloping and you think about running away to Vegas, having like an Elvis impersonator who's officiating your wedding and not telling anyone that you're doing it. So it's kind of a experience that's not really approved of. It's a lot more formulaic and pretty last minute when it comes down to it. Pretty much couples would cut out all the formalities and planning of a traditional wedding and just be spontaneous. But now people are choosing to elope more with a purpose and not so last minute, but also still holding on to that expectation-free, stress-free, a lot less planning than a traditional wedding would require. So I'm going to break down the who, what, when, where, and why of eloping for you so that you can make a good decision whether or not eloping is something for you and your partner, and if that's something that would be more of an intentional and purposeful wedding day for you both. So let's start with the what. What the heck really are elopements when it comes down to it? So there's kind of different ways to elope now. There's the thing that's called eloping, more often an elopement, and then there's a thing that's called an intimate wedding. And these terms are like kind of just fall under eloping. So you can really use them for both, but there is a little bit of a difference if you want to be technical about it. So elopements are typically what you think of as just the couple. So just two people go and get married and they don't have anybody else with them. And then an intimate wedding still involves guests, but usually involves a lot less. So I would say 20 or less is a good intimate small wedding size. If you start getting bigger than that, it kind of stops being intimate and really takes the focus away from the couple. The more people, the more needs you have to take care of. So, but yeah, intimate wedding, more with guests, elopement, just the couple, but they're both kind of referred to as an elopement these days. So both of these things these days are super flexible, small, and personalized. They can literally look like anything you want them to. The awesome part is you get to plan the day around what you love rather than the expectations everybody else has of you based upon traditional wedding practices. It's pretty awesome. So to help you start making those choices, because there are still a few choices you have to make, let's go to the who of eloping. Who do you invite? And do you want to invite anyone at all? Do you want to have that intimate wedding experience with a few of your closest loved ones, family, friends, or do you want to have the day just you two as a couple to go and enjoy and do what you want to do when you want to do it and don't have to be anywhere or choose locations based upon anyone else. So that's kind of the first decision to make. But there is the option of combining those things. So you could go in the morning, share vows on top of a mountain, just the two of you, and then you could go down back to town in the later afternoon have lunch, have dinner with your family, and kind of mix and match those things however feels good to you. So you do not have to choose one or the other, all you as a couple or all day with your family. You totally can, but you can also interchange those things. I personally think that if you invite family to your elopement day, I think that you should definitely schedule some time for just the two of you, because you wouldn't get that at a normal wedding normally, and if you did, it's pretty rushed because you're on a time schedule pretty strictly. And so I would say if you're eloping, make time for just the two of you. It's worth it. It's special. Do it somehow. That's just my opinion. As someone who has filmed and photographed multiple elopements, that time is special for couples. One tip to note is that the marriage regulations are different in every single state, and you follow the regulation of the state and county where you are getting married in, not where you live. And so you'll need to look into what those are. North Carolina, where I live, requires that you have an officiant legally marry you, and you need 2 witnesses. So I usually have couples plan to do that at a totally different time. So they might spend their elopement day out in the woods, on a mountaintop, hiking, kayaking, doing whatever they want one day, and then the next day they'll go and do a traditional ceremony at the courthouse and do the red tape of it all a different day. So they don't have to worry about an officiant having to hike with them and be at this beautiful spot that they want to share their vows. That's a really great option, is to just deal with the legalities of it a different day, but then really plan a full day around what you want it to be like without any restrictions. All right, let's move on to the where. This is the awesome part about eloping. You can pretty much elope anywhere you want to. I think that's the best part about eloping. Nothing in me personally wants to pay multiple thousands of dollars for a building. There are some beautiful venues out there, but I am personally happiest in the woods and on the mountain, and that's a really big reason people choose to elope, is that they get to be in beautiful spaces that most people don't get married in. You don't have to worry about chairs or an aisle or an altar or a place for people to be if it's raining. You just don't have to worry about that with an elopement at all. So you don't need a venue. You don't need to pay thousands of dollars for a space. You can go to a national park, a national forest, a state park, a local city park, anywhere you want to. And you can even still go to private venues and just spend a little time there if you want to. Usually elopements cost less than big weddings, so it's still an option if you want an actual venue. But the where part is so open to whatever the heck you want. You can choose to have your elopement in somewhere that's well known to you, a comfy, familiar place. So your local park that you visit all the time together is a lovely spot, or you can choose to go somewhere where you've never been before and you want to visit, and just maybe even turn that into your honeymoon place. Go and explore and experience that space and be married there. You just need somewhere that you want to promise your love to one another. So then we'll kind of move on to the when. The when of eloping really depends on the location that you end up choosing. You can elope at any time of year for however long you want that elopement experience to last. I know of couples who have super short elopements, but also couples who have spent a day and a half or 2 days celebrating and having their photo and video taken to really tell the full story of that experience and what it was like for them. So time frame is really up to you and how much you're willing to invest and how much you value capturing that experience to relive for your life and maybe for your kids' lives. I'm a big proponent for longer, fun-filled elopement days to where you really experience the full grasp of it. But I understand that there are couples out there who just, want to spend 1 or 2 hours with a photographer and videographer, and then go chill and do whatever else they want. It's totally up to you. There's people who will work with you for any of those options. Some other things to consider when thinking about the when are light. So you definitely will want to spend at least some part of the day either at sunrise or sunset, because it is the most beautiful light of the entire day. And that is when you will get those like gorgeous, soft, beautiful images of you as a couple. And so those are also just really special times of the day that I think bring you back to the moment. So why not wake up and hike up to witness the day start on the day you share your vows and the day that you get married, or watch the sun go down on one of the most special days of your life. So not only is it beautiful light, but it's a beautiful time to just experience. That's also why eloping is really awesome, is because you really can't get to those times of day really well and feel free enough to enjoy them on a traditional wedding day. You normally have that timeline that you have to follow, and so if you elope, you have freedom to hike up in the dark and watch the sunrise, or hike down in the dark and watch the sunset. You just have flexibility. And then the other thing to think about with when is, if you can do it on a weekday and you're in a public space like a national park, do it on a weekday if you can, because they are way less popular. So there'll just be less people on the trails, and that's ideal. Also, when it comes to when, think about the place you're going and what season you want to enjoy there. So it is different everywhere depending on where the heck you choose. Just do your research on what that place is like that time of certain times of year. I have filmed and photographed elopements in every single season: snowing, raining, pouring down the rain, hot summer sun, everything. So you can do it however you want to. And then the last thing is why. And there are countless reasons why, and there will be a totally separate video on that. So I will link that here once I have created it. But the main reason is it can be a fully authentic representation of your relationship. It is 100% about you and about what you want, which I think is what a wedding day should be anyways. You don't have to feel pressured to follow a timeline, a strict schedule, and just the stress of planning so many things. So I would say eloping is definitely for you if you don't feel connected to the traditions that a normal wedding day requires. If you don't feel connected to the wastefulness of the wedding industry, how much waste and carbon dioxide is produced from a wedding day is insane. So elopements are way more eco-friendly of an option. Another video to come on that one. An elopement might be for you if the idea of the ceremony and being vulnerable and sharing really intimate words in front of a lot of people does not sound ideal to you. Then eloping is a great option for you to have a safe and sacred space for you to be open with your partner. All right, y'all, that is the who, what, when, where, why of eloping, what it is. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I am happy to help. I hope that was really helpful for any of you who were on the fence of whether or not you should elope or have a big traditional wedding. I hope that this really gave you the insight and information that you needed to make the right decision for what is the best option for you as a couple, what will give you the wedding day of your dreams, and really be the most authentic to who you are. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you will subscribe if you liked it. Lots more videos to come to help you plan and prepare for an elopement day. I hope y'all have a good day.